Welcome to the Business Growth Secrets for Dietitians and Nutrition Coaches Facebook community. It's the best on the planet. And so for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Javier Carlin. I am a doctor in physical therapy. My wife, Marissa, is a registered dietitian, and together we're the co-founders of Healthcare Business University, where we help dietitians and nutrition coaches to replace their income, break free from their JOB, and hit those six-figure years, baby. If that's you and you're ready to rock and you want that, go ahead and put a big me in the chat before we dive in. Okay, beautiful. So let's see, who do we have here? We have Tiffany Ann. Tiffany, great to see you. We have Ray Ann. Good to see you, Ray. Great conversation that we had this morning. Super, super excited for you joining us inside of the Freedom Sprint. So congratulations with that. Beautiful. So here's what we're going to cover today, okay? We're going to dive into the top 3 reasons that people fail in their business, in their practice, okay? I'm curious for you, what do you think those are? Go ahead and put them in the chat. Let me know, what do you think the top 3 reasons people fail in their practice are, okay? And so what you may or may not know is that a large majority of people who end up starting businesses over a year, over 2 years, over 5 years, okay, they don't last. And so what we want to see, obviously, is more businesses lasting for the long haul, okay? Because what that means for you is, number one, you're able to impact more people, okay? First and foremost, you're able to help people the way that you know they need to be helped based on your personal experience. And, you know, many of us have worked jobs in the past or currently where we don't feel like the people that we're taking care of are getting the best of us. And not because we don't want to, but because the way that things are structured, the way that they're forcing us to treat people, it's not working, right? You and I both know that. And so we want to make sure we want to impact people for the long term, okay? We also want to make sure that you have the freedom, the flexibility, okay? The income that you want to make so that you can do the things that you want to do with the people that you care about the most, whether that be your family, that be your friends, right? Whoever it is. And so there are key things that the successful people do to stay in business over the long term, okay? There are also things that unsuccessful people do that keep them stuck, okay? And there really are these patterns in people, and they could be patterns that are helpful, okay, to helping them succeed. And there's also patterns that keep them stuck, or worse, end up, you know, causing even more harm. And this is in everything in life, right? Not just business, but also in your health and in relationships, okay? And so what I want to help you do today is start to be aware of these patterns, okay? Start to see what patterns lead to failure, what patterns lead to success, so that you can make the decision today to make sure that you're following the path to success. Is that cool? Okay, beautiful. So with that in mind, all right, I want to start with this, okay? I want to start with this one. So the number one thing that we see in people who are unsuccessful, okay, who don't really get what they want in life, and who end up failing in business, if they even get that far, okay, is this. And so the problem with this, okay, is that many times we don't even know what's happening. We're so unaware of it, okay? And what I'm about to share with you can cause so much pain in your life, in people's lives, because they don't even know why they're behaving that way. But it goes back to all the life experiences that we've had, the people that we've had in our life, some of them that have meant well, some of them that haven't, okay? But it's this, all right? And so I want you to write this down in the chat so you really get this, okay? But I've never met, in the mentors that I've hired, the coaches that I've hired, the successful people that I've interacted with, the six-figure, practice owners, the millionaire business people that I associate with, right? They are not skeptical. Okay. And so being skeptical, okay, that cynicism, that skepticism, okay, holds so many people back. It's crazy, right? Because you and I both know that at the end of the day, right, if you're a nutrition professional, isn't being healthy and having having good nutritional habits, right, eating healthy and doing these things, isn't it pretty simple, right? It's, hey, you should probably do more of this and do less of that. Okay. For those that are maybe in the weight loss niche and are helping people lose weight, at the end of the day, right, it's pretty simple. Put the fork down. Okay. Don't overeat. Manage your calories. Manage your caloric intake. Okay. And so that's it. It's simple. But most people, when you simplify things too much, they're like, really? Is that all there is? No, it can't just be that, right? It has to be more complicated than that, because the more complex it is, the less likely it is for people to do it. And so even in the things that are simple, even when we are helping our clients with that, they still find a reason to think that, no, it can't be that easy, right? And they're skeptical. Isn't that crazy how that works? Have you guys ever noticed that? Right? And so I've never met a successful person in my life who is skeptical. Never. And so I mentioned this being ingrained into our brain from a very young age. Okay. Now, I talked about this at our event that we hosted last week, the virtual event that we hosted, the Content Declines Challenge. And, a conversation about this came up. And let me know if you've heard of this before. Okay. Have you ever heard someone say, oh, that sounds like a get rich quick scheme? Okay. Has anyone ever heard of that before? Oh, that's a get rich quick scheme. Okay. Well, if you're like most people, you probably have heard that before. Okay. And so I'm not going to say that you're going to have success overnight, right? I'm not going to say you're going to become the wealthiest person on the planet right in the next year. Okay. But at the end of the day, think about this, right? Think about this. Let me ask you this. Is $1 million a lot of money? Is $1 million a lot of money? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Yes or no? Yes or no? The answer is it depends. It depends. Is $1 million over 45 years, is that a lot of money? Yes or no? $1 million over a span of 45 years. The answer, probably not. Okay. What's that, about $25,000 a year? That's pretty low, right? And so let me ask you the second question. Is $1 million in a year, okay, is that a lot of money? Is it a lot of money in a year? Go ahead and put it in the chat. The answer, for most people, yes. It's all relative, right? You ask Elon Musk that, he's going to say, nope, that's nothing, right? But it's relative. For most people, right, $1 million made in 1 year, it's a lot of money, okay? And so what's the variable there? If the amount of money is the same, what's the only variable? It's time. Time is the variable. And so the only way to get rich, the only way to make a lot of money fast is fast, right? Get rich quick. It's the only way to do it. It's the only way to get rich. And so we've been so indoctrinated by phrases that people say, casually, that we hear, and we're like, yeah, that's that. I know this person tried that and they failed. It must be a scheme. It must be a scheme, right? It must not work. Is it that the thing didn't work or the person didn't work? Right? Something to think about. And so the craziest thing about all of this, right, especially in this example, is that we've already bought the lie, and the actual scheme that's being ran right now is the stay broke for the rest of your life scheme. Okay? How many of you, have done everything that the traditional system has told you to do, right? And obviously our parents were also indoctrinated in it, right? And it was the path, right? The path was go to school, get good grades, get into a good college, and get a job. Okay. But here's it's just not right. Right. You and I both know it's not right, because you end up getting a job, okay, out of school. You have all this education, all these degrees, all these certifications, all this expertise, all this skill that can help transform people's lives. And then you get paid less than someone who didn't get all that education, right? And not just that, but many people that I talk to on a daily basis are working 2 jobs, 3 jobs just to get by. And so if we think about it, is the answer really to do more of what's already not working? Absolutely not. And so we already bought into the scheme, okay, of stay broke forever. Okay. And so can you see how those phrases that we hear, right? We have to be very cautious with where we're getting our information from, okay? Because who it's coming from is very important. And so when someone tells you something, and it's someone that you can trust, it's someone that has the experience and has gone through what you're going, through right now before, okay, you want to trust them, but you can verify, right? You can ask some questions. You can look at, hey, how did they do this, right? Did they do it? And have they helped other people do it too? And if the answer is yes, 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 boom, trust them, trust the process, and do everything that they tell you to do. But most business owners, most practice owners, who do they listen to? They end up listening to the skeptics. Who are these skeptics? Sometimes they're disguised as people who love us and care for us, right? Sometimes it's our family, sometimes it's our friends, sometimes it's our coworkers, right? The people closest to us. And they don't know any better, right? Because like us, they've also been indoctrinated, right, into thinking a certain way. And so of course they're skeptical, but guess what? They're not you, and they're not looking and observing and seeing all these amazing people out there having massive success in the same field that you're in, doing incredible things, helping tons of people, making a lot of money, and having massive impact. Okay, they don't see that because you do, right? And so you have to trust that it's there for you too. Okay. And so when it comes to trusting the process, it comes down to one word. Okay. Can you guess what that word is? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Can you guess what that word is? That word is belief. Okay. It is belief. And so you have to have belief in the process. Okay. Because if you don't believe in the process, are you going to follow the process? The answer, no. And therefore, are you going to get the results? The answer, of course, no. And so most people, they already don't believe it's going to work, okay? And so they don't follow the process 100% because they lack belief. And guess what? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And it's like, oh, you see, I knew it wasn't going to work, right? And so the belief has to be there, okay? And so there's this quick story. Someone that I follow often, Tony Robbins, talks about this story quite a bit. And so there was this guy, his name's Mel Fisher, and in July of 1985, okay, he found this treasure. Now, do you think that he was searching for that treasure the day before? Right? Well, he was searching for the treasure the day before, but did he start the day before? Okay. No. Mel Fisher actually started, okay, to search and hunt for this treasure that he knew was out there for 16 years. 16 years. He was out there searching for a treasure that no one else believed was out there, okay? And so the craziest thing is that he ended up finding it, okay? After 16 years, he found $500 million worth of treasure. Okay. Now, in those 16 years, what happened to him? Okay. People thought he was crazy. His wife left him. His crew left him. His friends left him. His family left him because they thought he was mad. Right. And then 16 years later, he gets his treasure. And so three things. Okay. How many of you would have waited 16 years to find that treasure? Many people probably wouldn't, right? But would it be worth it after 16 years to bring in $500 million? Would your life change with that amount of money? What charities could you donate to? How many people could you feed? Right? Think about it. And so the fact of the matter is that there were three things that allowed him to find that treasure. Okay. Can you guess what it is? Well, number one, yes, it stems from belief, but there are three core beliefs that he had to have to achieve his outcome. Okay. And so the first component, okay, is he had to realize and have a belief that the treasure was there. And so most business owners, most practice owners have one foot in, right, one foot out. They're dabbling. They're like, like, I think it's there. I think I can do this. I think the treasure's on the other side. I think on the other side, I'll be able to make all this money and help all these people, but I don't know, right? And so that one foot in, one foot out, is that going to lead to success? No, because you'll take 5 steps forward and 10 steps back. It'll be this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for life. And where do you stay if you keep on going back and forth? That's right, you stay stuck right in the center. You don't go anywhere, okay? And you have to go full force, 100% in the direction of your dreams. And so number one, I want you to write this down in the chat, is I must believe the treasure is there. In fact, put I believe the treasure is there. Okay, so the treasure you have to believe the treasure is there to even make that commitment, to even make that leap. Okay, that's number one. The second piece, okay, the second core belief that you must have, and go ahead and write this down, is I will find it. I will find it. So it's not enough to just know the treasure's out there. You also have to have a belief inside of yourself that I will find it. Okay? And so when you have the belief that it's there, when you have a strong belief that I'm going to find it, no matter what, if it's worked for other people, right, it's going to work for me. I just have to figure out how to make it work, right? Different mindset, different belief. But can you see how that's going to be a more powerful motivator and a more powerful belief to get you the outcome that you're looking for? 100%, right? And so number 3, the third belief, okay, that we have to have is that it is worth it. It is worth it, okay? Because if you know the treasure is there, if you know that you will find it, but you don't think it's worth it, you're going to give up at the first sight of a challenge, right? The first sight of an obstacle, of a roadblock, you're like, you know what? It's not worth it. And then you'll go the other direction. And so if you don't believe it's worth it, then why even start to begin with? But I know that's not you. I know that you're here, right? You're in this community. You're watching this training right now because you know that there's another level inside of you. You know that there's this untapped potential that you haven't quite tapped yet, right? And you also know that on the other side, okay, of all the challenge, the roadblocks, the obstacles that come, that are being hurled at you on that journey, you know that there's a personal growth that comes with it. And you know that the rewards on the other side of that are going to be massive. Okay. Talk about financial freedom, time freedom. Okay. And the ability to take care of your family even after you're not here. That's impact, right? That's legacy. And so again, belief number 1, you have to know that the treasure is there. The second one is you have to believe you're going to find it. And the third one, you have to know it's worth it. That it's worth the pain, the sacrifice, the struggle that you're going to have to go through to get it, right? Because we always say if it was easy, everyone would do it. But guess what? You've been through harder things in your life, okay? Whether it's personal things, whether it's, challenges at school, whether it's, life challenges, life struggles, right? You've been through it. You've persevered. And so this is just the next challenge. And so you can do this. And so most business owners, the reason that they fail right off the bat, right, within the first few months, within the first few years, is because they don't believe those 3 things. So I want you to go ahead and put in the chat right now, make a commitment to yourself and say, I believe. Okay, put I believe in the chat if you're committed to seeing this through. Okay. And so number 2, Okay. Number two, the second reason that many people fail in business, in their practice, is this. Okay. It is their environment. Go ahead and put environment in the chat. Okay. Environment in the chat. Now, when it comes to their environment, there's a few different instances where their environment would throw them off. Okay. And so most people, what they'll do is and this is not done on purpose, right? It's just a matter of not being intentional about our environment. And so environment can come in different shapes and forms. Okay. And so one form it could come in, okay, is the form of distraction. All right. Do you have a lot of distraction in your area? Do you have a lot of things that take your focus? Okay. And so without focus, we can't succeed. Without focus, it's very hard, right, to move in the direction of our dreams. Have you guys heard the acronym for focus? It's follow one course until success. And so shiny object syndrome, right? It could be literal shiny object syndrome in your household. Right? It could be more of a figurative shiny object syndrome where in your head, you have all these different ideas that you want to go forward with, right? And because of that, you stay stuck in the middle doing nothing, okay? That can have a major effect in people's ability to have success in their practice, right? And so one of the key things and one of the biggest mistakes that we see a lot of people make, okay, is trying to focus on too many things at once, right? It's like they have their private practice over here, they have their blog over here, they have their, supplements that they're selling over here, and they're all over the place, right? And so just like a messy environment would throw you off, the environment in your mind, so important to clear up. Okay, and if we just had one thing to laser focus on for X amount of time, X amount of years, until we mastered that, until we built a system around it where it could run without you, and then move on to the next thing, how much more successful would you be? How much faster would you build that second thing because you've already done it once, right? And so as opposed to dabbling in many different things for 10 years, okay, you become extremely successful at each of those things in a much shorter amount of time. And every single time you do it, it builds faster and faster and faster and faster. Okay. And so your mental environment is massive. Okay. And so the second piece here is your literal physical environment. Now think about this, right? How many of you have gone to school, right? I'm assuming everyone watching this has gone to school at some point in their life. And so I'm sure there were some classes out there that you loved being in and were like amazing, right? But for the most part, what did they have you do, right? They had a desk, they had a professor at the front, they had a whiteboard, right? They made you sit down, they made you shut up and do your work, right? You couldn't talk to your neighbor, okay? And so in that environment, what typically ended up happening? You got tired, you started to slouch, sometimes you would maybe fall asleep, right? Try and take a little nap, you would doze off, daydream, okay? Is that the best environment for learning? Actually, it's not, right? How many of you have then gone to a concert, right? You've gone to a concert, maybe, you enjoy listening to music. Who's your favorite artist? Who's your favorite, singer, etc.? Go ahead and put them in the chat, okay? So maybe it's like Beyonce or, I don't know, Justin Bieber or someone, I don't know, okay? And so you go to see this person and the entire time you're there for 2 hours, and this time you're standing, right? You're standing, you're upright, you're singing, you're moving, you're dancing, you're doing your thing, right? Why are you so much more engaged? Why are you many times much more happy, right? And it's because of all those things. It's the environment, the energy that you are in. And so many times we don't think about the energy we place ourselves in our day-to-day, right? But who is around you, right? Who is emitting different energies around you, right? Is it negative energy? Is it doubtful energy, right? Is it people in your life that you love and care for, but unfortunately, if you spend too much time with you, they kind of get you down. They get you depressed, okay? And these are all things, right? And you're not going to leave them and say, hey, I can't talk to you ever again. No, but you definitely have to protect your environment. You have to make sure that if someone says something negative or doubtful, or they say, oh, maybe you shouldn't do that, they're a bit skeptical about you taking the leap or doing something different, right? You have to consider who it's coming from, consider their life and their lifestyle, and realize, hey, they don't know any better, right? I respect you as a person. I appreciate you looking out for me. I appreciate your insight, but you just block it. Okay, block it. You don't need that environment in your life. And so for most people, right, and I'll give you a second example. How many of you have been to a DMV before, right? DMV, you got to get your license renewed, etc. Right? Oh my God, any government facility, you walk in there and you're like, geez, you can feel that energy low, right? Everyone's kind of walking slow, looking down, sitting on the chair, contemplating life, right? And it's you can feel it. It's not a good energy, right? Now, if you think about going to like a conference, right? A conference with like-minded people, maybe it's a business conference, like we're hosting one at the end of September 30th and October 1st, Nutrition BizCon Live, baby. Super excited for that, right? Those environments, okay, are going to bring out the best in you. They're going to bring out the best in you. You're going to have more energy because you have like-minded people who are there to encourage you, empower you, and elevate you. Okay. And you can feel that. And so many business owners, many practice owners, what they do is they think, oh, you know what? I'm just going to do this. I'm going to try and do this on my own. Right. I don't need anyone else. I don't need people. I just need to be in my, my office or in my home. Maybe I go to Starbucks and I'll be good. Right. I'll be fine. But what they don't take it into account is that their environment, the community, the people that they surround themselves with on a daily basis is going to have a massive impact on their ability to succeed. Okay, because it's those subconscious thoughts and things people say that can affect us over time. And if we don't have more positive input, a better environment, both physically, right, and mentally, then it's just going to keep on dragging us down. And it's a silent killer, right? It's a silent killer because we don't even notice it. And so how do you put yourself in a better environment, in a better state? Okay, you get around people like myself and Marissa, you get around people like our clients, you get around people. Okay. Yes. The cool thing is you can also do it through Zoom. Can you guys feel more of that energy, right? Can you guys feel how passionate or excited I am? Maybe it's getting you fired up. Maybe you're like, yeah, like I get this, like 100%. That makes sense. Okay. And so you can feel that energy. And so being around this more often is going to lift your energy up. And when you have more energy, are you able to do more or less? More, of course. And if you are able to do more in your business with more passion, more enthusiasm, are you going to get better results or worse? Better, of course, right? And so this is everything. Most people, they kind of crowd into a corner, try and figure things out on their own. They get stressed, they get overwhelmed, and it's just like, it's not good, right? And then confirmation bias comes into play where people around you are like, you see, like, you don't look too good. You look a little bit stressed. Maybe you should just not do this anymore. And then like, oh, you know what? They were right. And just a terrible place to be. And so how can you decide to do something different, right? Maybe it's joining a new community. Maybe it's joining a program. Maybe it's going to an in-person event, okay? Maybe it's stepping outside of your comfort zone and going after it, right? Being around a better group of people and really start taking all that positive influx, that positive energy in so you can succeed. Okay. And so people who are the most successful, they do these things. All right. And obviously, if you're watching this right now, I know that you want to be successful. Okay. And so the third thing, okay, the third biggest reason that people fail in their business and in their practice is this. Okay. Is the inability to take action. Okay, it is what we call inaction. And so I want you all to write this down. You might have heard us say this before. Okay, imperfect action trumps perfect inaction every single day of the week. Okay, most people, they contemplate, they overthink, right? They overthink their life away. And so a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years pass by, and it's still not the right time. Before it was because they were too young, now it's because they're too old and they have all these kids. Before it was because they didn't feel confident enough because they didn't have the certifications and they had imposter syndrome, right? And so we can make up excuses every step of the way. It never goes away. It never goes away. Okay. I'll talk to healthcare professionals who have been practicing for 20, 25, 30 years. And I'll ask them, hey, do you like, are you 100% confident? Like you feel like, you've got everything down, everything, like you're good. They're like, no, I still deal with imposter syndrome. Like, I still don't feel like I know enough. I still battle with that 25, 30 years later. So if we know that's never going to go away, then is it really that, right? Is that something that we're going to just wait for to disappear? Because the truth of the matter is that it's not. And many people think it is. And they're waiting for that day. It's not. Okay. And so when it comes to an action, there are a few different reasons that people stay stuck in inaction. Okay. The first one is overwhelm. How many of you have ever felt overwhelmed before? How many of you currently feel overwhelmed? How many of you, live in overwhelm? Okay. And so I've been overwhelmed. I currently, am overwhelmed at times because we got a lot of things going on. But the way that I see it is different. Okay. I'd rather be overwhelmed because that means I'm challenging myself. Think about this, right? If you go to the gym and you're working out, maybe you're working out, your legs and you're getting your legs toned up, right? Maybe doing some squats, etc. Okay. And I do something, I use my body weight. I do something that I do every single week for, I've done that forever. Let's say that was me, right? Am I going to grow from that? No, right? The answer, no, quick no. Okay. I might maintain where I'm at, but I'm not going to grow. And so what has to happen for my muscles to grow? They have to be challenged. They have to be stressed. Okay. They, yes, need some rest and recovery to grow. Yes, of course. But without the stress, without the challenge, muscles don't grow. And so what does that mean about you? Without the challenge, without feeling a little bit overwhelmed, you're not going to grow either. And that's what it's all about, right? It's all about progress. It's all about progress. And so with overwhelm, okay, what we want to make sure is that we write things down on paper. We figure out, okay, these are all the things I can do. What is my top priority? What's going to get me the closest to my goal the fastest? Okay. And so sometimes with some support, with some help, you're able to find out what those levers are a lot faster, right? So you're not trying to pull all these different levers, right? You just pull one and you're good. Okay. And so the second thing that people struggle with, and it's a reason why people get stuck in inaction, is this. Okay. Perfectionism. How many of you, right? And I mentioned imperfect action trumps perfect inaction. How many of you have dealt with perfectionism before? Okay, go ahead and let me know in the chat. How many of you have dealt with perfectionism before? Let's see. Sandy says all the time. Sandy, imposter syndrome. Yep, if you're not being able to satisfy clients. Exactly. Hey, Darcy. Hey, Sierra. Good to see you. Nicole. And awesome. Nick, what's going on? Great to see you. Okay. So the next one is perfectionism. Now, here's what they don't tell you about perfectionism. Here's what it really is. Okay. Perfectionism is nothing more than a fear of rejection. Okay, think about that. Think about that. And where does that stem from? It stems from when we were going through the traditional educational system, right? We were told that we had to sit down, shut up, and we had to take these exams, take these tests, right, on an ongoing basis. And if we got the right answer, but it wasn't how they wanted it to be done, it was wrong. Right. And we were always shooting for that perfect score, that 100. We wanted that A, right? And if it wasn't an A, if it wasn't, something close to that, we quote unquote were just average or we failed. Okay. And so we were always trained to shoot for it being perfect. It has to be perfect. It has to be perfect or I fail. But that's not how life works. Okay. That is not how life works because you will never be perfect. Right? The very fact that there is the word perfect means that imperfect came first. Okay. And so the reality of it is that the only way to achieve true perfection, which I don't believe is ever attained because that would mean you're the perfect human being ever and you have nowhere else to grow into, right? That's not all of us. Like we know we have that next level and the most successful people on this planet, right? They also know that they have that next level and they don't stop. Right, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, right? Massive growth, and they're not They're not done growing. And so if they're not done growing, are you done growing? The answer, of course not, right? Of course not. And so the reality is that perfectionism, okay, the only way to get things truly perfect is to do the things, get the feedback, and make them better. Because the reality is that perfectionism is simply a fear of us being rejected, because that's what happened to us when we were younger, when we were told that's not how you do it, that's wrong, right? You didn't get 100%. Okay. And so it's, again, been indoctrinated in our mind, and it's why we're always striving for that. It's not what we want to strive for. We want to strive for progress. Okay. And so many people, many business owners, newer business owners, they end up failing because they're trying to get everything perfect. But guess what? They're trying to get it perfect for themselves. And who matters in business, right? It's not you. Are you paying yourself for your services, your solutions? No, right? It's your clients. Your clients are the ones that are paying for you, for your services. So let them tell you how to make it better, right? And the only way for them to tell you how to make it better is by actually helping them through the process of it and being open to their feedback, okay? And so that's how you get and make things better. But do not let perfectionism stop you from taking action, because then you'll never be perfect. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, okay? And so a third component of an action that we see a lot of people struck by is just fear in general. Okay, it's fear. And so we talked about this last week in our virtual event, and we talked about the idea of fear and anxiety. Okay, and so fear, it's actually two different things. Fear and anxiety, two very different things. Okay, fear is caution over a real and present danger. So, for example, right, I'm in Florida, and there's alligators everywhere, like my backyard, the front yard. I'm just kidding. No, it doesn't. Guys, I know people think there's alligators all over Florida. They're not, right? They're by lakes. I haven't even seen one since we moved here to Tampa Bay. Okay. And so if I see an alligator in my backyard and I'm outside, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to run really fast. You've never seen Javi run that fast. Okay. And so that is a real and present danger. It could eat me. So that's fear. Okay. Anxiety, on the other hand, is this state, right, that we put ourselves in over a imagined danger, something that's in our head that has not happened. Okay, we're making things up, right? So it's a future imagined danger that has never happened, will probably never happen. Okay, and we let ourselves get stuck there. And what ends up happening is that because we're overthinking this, we're feeling so stressed, we were, thinking about all the bad things that could happen, it drains us of all the energy that we could actually use to either make that thing not happen, so it ends up happening, or, okay, we can use that energy in the direction of what we want. And so when we refocus that energy and turn it into anticipation of and feeling excited, right? Having that excitement that, wait a second, no, this is going to work. Can you see how that's a more resourceful state? And can you see how transferring that anxious energy into excited energy will get you the results that you're looking for? Okay. And so the only way you do that is by taking action. You have to take action in the direction of your dreams. Whether you feel the fear or not, you do it anyway. Okay. Go ahead and put "do it anyway" in the chat. Okay. Do it anyway. And so I want you to think about this, right? So we have you guys heard of the law of entropy, right? Going back to physics and all of that, right? And so the law of entropy states that, oh my goodness, I just lost my train of thought, okay? So the law of entropy is basically that, oh my God, I lost it. Anyway, we'll go back to that once I get it back, all right? Don't worry. Can anyone, this is a pop quiz, okay? What is the law of entropy state? Okay, anything left to its own is going to go into the state of more and more and more and more disorder, unless acted upon by an external force. Okay, so if you let things be, we see so many people that are like, everything, nothing's going well, but you know what? I have hope. Things are just going to fix themselves. I can tell you right now, okay, that if I use a bunch of forks, knives, plates, cups, and I put them in the sink, and I come and do this live like I did right now, and I go back there, they're not going to do themselves. Okay. They're not going to do themselves unless I do what? Unless I take action and physically wash them or put them in the dishwasher. Okay. And so me, the external force, needed to act upon the dishes to wash them, to make them clean again. And so anything left to its own is going to go into a state of more disorder. And so sometimes, right, when it comes to you, you need someone to actually put that force on you, okay, to get you to move in the direction of your dreams. And so that's the idea here, right? You need to take action. And so a lot of people that don't really have the clarity, they're feeling overwhelmed, they have, all these thoughts kind of roaming in their mind. They're just, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what niche I want to work with. I don't know how to price my services. I don't know, right? I don't know how to do any of this stuff, or I don't know what to do about any of this stuff. Well, number one, you do need a strategy. So a strategy is important. Okay. Ideally, you have a step-by-step process on how to do it. Okay. But number three, you also need to just do the thing, because nothing is going to give you more clarity than taking action. Okay. Nothing's going to give you more clarity than taking action. Okay. So clarity gives you, action gives you clarity. Okay. Action gives you clarity. And so when you have clarity, clarity is power. Okay. But the only way to get clarity is by taking action, because think about this, right? We talk to a lot of people, and, sometimes they're in between two niches. Maybe they want to work with someone who, has fertility issues. And on the other side, they want to work with someone who has MS, right? And so they are thinking about this for 3 months, 6 months, a year. Which one do I work with? Which one's going to be better, right? Which one am I going to enjoy working with most? And if we would have just right off the bat decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to work with these patients, these clients who have fertility issues, right? First and foremost, I'm going to do it for 90 days. I'm going to give it all I have. I'm going to run with it and see what happens. You will find out more in that first month than you would have found out in a year of just thinking about it. You would have figured out, okay, do I enjoy working with these people? How do I feel around working with these people? What are the objections that they have? What are the price points that I feel like I can push for, right? You would find out all those things by just taking the action. You would get so much clarity. And then after 30 days, 60 days, even 90 days, if you're like, you know what? I did this, I gave it my best shot, but I'm actually not feeling it. I thought I was going to be more passionate about this. I'm going to go ahead and go in this direction, right? And let's say it did take you another 2 or 3 months, but after 6 months, as opposed to a year, you made a decision and you were like, yeah, this is it. This is it, baby. Let's run with it. Right. And now you have a business that you can build over a lifetime that when you take care of, right, just like a baby, when after 5, 10, 15, 20 years, it's going to be able to start taking care of you. Okay. And not like a baby, it could happen a lot faster. Okay. So with that, right, those are the 3 reasons that many people fail in their practice. Okay. Just to recap here. And I'd love to know, before we hop off today, what's been your biggest takeaway from today's conversation? I'd love to hear from you. Okay, I'd love to hear from you. So number 1, it's skepticism and not trusting the process, not having the belief that it's going to work for them. Okay. Number 2, it is your mental and physical environment. Okay. Your ability to focus in that environment is so key. And number 3 is inaction. Okay. If you don't take any action, you're not going to get any results. It's that simple. Okay. And obviously we want to take the right action. And so with the right advice and the right advisors in your corner, you can make the best decisions. Okay. You'll still have some mistakes that you make, right? But there'll be a lot fewer, and you can collapse the amount of time it takes you to get there. Okay. And so the people who are able to trust the process, who are able to set themselves up and put themselves in the right mental and physical environment, and are able to take action, are the most successful. Okay. Those are the people that are able to have the impact that they desire, be able to, help and impact many clients. They're able to really not just impact them, but feel the sense of love and gratitude, right? Because they've been able to change people's lives. And so those people come back to you saying, man, like, you're a rock star, right? Thank you so much. Like, you've changed my life. Okay. It's a great feeling. And the people that, that remain skeptical, the people that decide and choose to keep themselves in a negative environment and not take any action, unfortunately, those are the people that stay stuck, right? Those are the people that, 15, 20, 30 years down the road are still working that same clinical job, complaining about how much they hate documentation, how much they hate the physicians saying that, or people thinking that they're part of the kitchen staff, or their waiter, or that all they do is just hand out shakes. Okay, those are the people that continue to experience that. And yeah, it sucks, but it's a choice. Okay, it's a choice, and you have that choice. You can make that decision. Okay, and so for anyone watching this right now that maybe has felt like they've been on that side, and you're ready to go in a different direction. Okay, you're ready to take your business to that next level, and all you feel like you need is a process, some support and accountability along the way. All I want you to do, okay, is go ahead and comment the word "I'm ready." Okay, comment the word "I'm ready" down below. And what we're going to do is we're going to hop on a quick 15-minute phone call. Just going to get to know each other a little bit, depending on your situation. We'll let you know if we have some resources in this group, if we have some trainings that could possibly help you. We'll let you know if there are other people that we have access to that we're friends with that can help you best. And if we could possibly help you, we'll let you know that too. Okay. And then from there, if you're like, hey, yeah, I'm interested in hearing more about what a possible solution for me would look like, right? We can discuss that and, have a second conversation. But if we can't, we'll tell you. Okay. And we're super open about that because we can't help everyone, but maybe we can help you, just maybe. And so type the word "I'm ready" down below if you'd like for our team to reach out and set up a call with us so we can have a great conversation, learn a little bit more about each other, and see if there's anything that we can do to serve you. All right. And so let's see. We got some takeaways here. Do it anyway. Just do it. Saw lots of them when I lived in Boca. Perfectionism. Yes. Fear not being able to satisfy clients. Yeah, totally. Awesome, everyone. Well, hope you have a great rest of your evening. I wish you all the best. We'll see you here next week. Same time, same place. Good night, everyone. Take care.